And onwards we go. The nice thing about getting Faded Altered into Zom is it does almost by extension give us decent opportunity to get a few different category points. Because we got the Faded Altar, so if we can get a win, we get some tournament points for that. And then on top of that, we also are very unlikely to ever go with Zom in the future. And so it gets some of the unique combination requirements out of the way as well. Even though I'm not super familiar myself with the exact categories, or with all of them, I should say. So I could be misunderstanding something there, for sure. Okay, a few teleports around the map already on this floor. Nothing too frightening, at the very least. Though I do want to get into a better place with Zom, so hopefully some shenanigans can happen right away, get us back to being a favored plaything. Not that there's a whole lot we can do. Oh no, Zom's getting bored. Please, sir, don't do that. Is there anything ridiculous I can do to myself? Could learn a spell that's too hard for us to cast. I think Zom appreciates it when we miscast things. That sounds fun. But more importantly, a ring. So that's got to go on right away. Evasion is definitely a solid get for us. And it's a start for sure, because ideally, we're going to want 8 of those right away. Take this instrument of something, just a falchion. Okay, we were a boring thing, but now we're back up to being a toy. That's good. I was a little bit frightened the moment there. And this ugly thing is rough at this stage in the game. That is way too much damage for us to deal with. Holy cow. Also covers ground quickly, so if we start this fight, we have to finish it, which we're not going to be able to do. So I'm just gonna take a few steps backwards here, slowly but surely. Gotta love those out of depth monsters. Was I close enough for the ugly thing to hear that noise? I sure hope not. Thanks, Zom. Love you, bud. Kind of have to just stay completely away from the left side of the map for the time being, I think. A wee bit frightening for me. In fact, maybe I should stop pressing the arrow keys. Between my own kind of lack of experience using the manual moving and not accidentally running straight towards monsters, mixed with any potential small bits of lag from the server here, might run the risk of just going face to face with that ugly thing, which is not what we're looking to do here. I will say a couple of necklaces being grabbed is not too bad whatsoever. Guardian Spirit will keep us alive from any single big hits, so that might be useful if we did run into said ugly thing. But regeneration does allow us to keep better track of our magic points, so I will do that. Okay, made a lot of noise. Brought the ugly thing right to us that time. Perfect. Glad we stayed on the stairs and didn't try and risk anything. In fact, I think it's time for me to just head to the stairs. We'll go down to D8 for the time being. At least take a peek, see if it's any worse. Hopefully not. Perfect. And this is the kind of horde we want to go up against. You'd love to see that. Single OTR just wipes out the entire screen. You'd think we would cast Ignition or something like that. So satisfying. Let's try an experiment. So our Ice Blast Wand glowed? What did that do? Nothing. Maybe? Doesn't look like it did anything at the very least. Interesting. Always on your toes when you're following Zom. That much can be said at the very least. But perfect. Again, OTR is the one thing that makes me comfortable enough to deal with those early packs of bees. Otherwise, that could have been a frightening situation for sure. And let's hope that the moccasin goes well too. And in fact, thanks to our early mutations from Zom here, we were able to slow that buddy, which is awesome. I also didn't notice that I occasionally shout uncontrollably. That's good to know. Nice to know when you're going to accidentally be attracting monsters to you. Hey Brain, how's it going? Also, thank you so much for the sub, TBD. I appreciate that a whole lot. That's awesome. I also didn't realize that I got Brilliance again. It turns out every time I run into a horde of bees, Zom is going to give us Brilliance to counteract it. Get as many OTRs as we possibly need. Love to see it. Okie dokie, let's take a peek into our first shop here. Spellbooks are really nice to find. I'm hoping. Ignite Poison. Ignite Poison will do absolute wonders for me. I will go through most of them here because I am slightly unfamiliar with all the changes. Zom is just a better Gozag. Definitely. Yeah, don't see any problems with that statement whatsoever. And that's coming from someone who loves Gozag, thinks they're one of the best 3 rune gods. Of course, not nearly as good as our one true Lord and Savior Zom, but still pretty awesome, all things considered. Where were we here? We were on the alchemy book, okay. Not quite well enough, or quite familiar enough with the specific spell books to know right off the bat here which each of these, or which spells each of these might be missing. But still will go through just to make sure there isn't anything we need. And it looks like mostly it's just this. I really want Statue Form. Bolt of Magma can also be awesome. Get some piercing damage, get a couple of elemental vulnerabilities potentially sorted out. Love to see it. And nice to see an Octopode. Same here. I was very happy to use the tournament as an opportunity to play some of these species that we're not going to be getting to for quite a while on our great player attempts. Especially, Octopodes are one of my favorites, for sure. I would love to see some more rings, if the game would like to give those to me, but still not too many complaints so far, all things considered. Especially getting that early OTR has been an absolute treasure. Oh, and Rocktopus, of course. My bad, my bad. Gotta make sure we say it like it is, call it like it is, that is. Perfect. I'm gonna reset my hair here. So we're playing, for whatever reason, my bangs are completely coming out of my headphones and they're all just starting to tickle my face just a little bit. I think I'm going to be getting a bit of a haircut soon. I love my long hair too much now, ever since quarantine forced me to grow it out this long. I've always had long hair as a kid, but never quite to this length. But I do think I want to trim it up a little bit, and I'm having a hard time deciding what kind of style to go for, because so often my only look that I've ever tried to achieve has been like just cut my hair short and then let it grow out for a year or two. Even before quarantine, I guess. So I have no idea how to make fashionable long hair. Gonna have to figure that out. So I am getting married soon, and I'd like to have some really nice wedding pictures where I look fancy. Okie dokie. Run's going pretty well so far. That early Staff of Earth is really just paying dividends for us. Business in the front, party in the back, only option. So yeah, I've always been saved. I've had a couple bowl cuts in my life, but never quite the full mullet. Largely because mullet was reserved mostly for hockey kids up here in Canada. It's the signature look of the hockey kids. And also, thank you so much, TVD. Yeah, end of this month, I'm very much excited. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. I was actually originally going to be getting married like middle of August of this summer, before COVID was even a thing on the horizon. And then with the start of COVID and last year, with a lot of the weddings at our venue being canceled, my partner and I just decided like to take a step back and give up our date for somebody, or to somebody who had to cancel their wedding in the worst part of COVID last year. And it was probably the best thing that we ever did, because now we're not spending nearly as much money and we're just going to elope instead, which is kind of nice. It's nice to just take that $15,000 or whatever we were going to spend on the wedding, 15,000, 20,000. Weddings are too expensive. And we can instead just invest that in a future of some kind. Wouldn't that be nice? Also, I should say that we just picked up the nuts in terms of a spellbook there. IMB is fantastic for keeping ourselves alive, and we finally got our hands on LRD itself as well. No longer have that in the starting Earth book, so that's nice to find organically in our journey. In fact, I should start learning some spells, is what I'm feeling. I might start, though, with IMB. Get that cranking up and turn our conjurations back on for the time being, maybe in focusing it up to a nice score of 10 or so. We'll see how that does for their casting chances. But I'd like to use IMB as a nice just shove back, give ourselves space. It's always a nice thing to get in this game. Position is so important, or positioning in general, I should say. Ooh, do we want like a +3 scimitar as our main weapon? Still haven't stumbled upon a weapon that we may want to take as a permanent fixture in our run. That was not a great start. I was hoping a single backstabbing with the staff could do the trick. That's all good. Ooh, and Dispersion Trap is gonna get stepped on no matter what I do, so let's just bite the bullet, shall we? Perfect. Oh right, I guess both of them blinked too, so perfect. Wasn't taking out the last of him. Oh, and an imp with a wand of flame. Only one charge though, which is interesting. I'm guessing it's gonna use it. Yep, crumbled to dust. That's all good. Also, the new MacLeb altar, so sick. Looks amazing. That, the gnolls, and the yak tiles are definitely my favorite of the new tiles so far, even though the new hydras look really great too, actually. And if I think about it for a moment, I'm sure I'll stumble upon a few of the other really cool new tiles that have been introduced. But let's see. Tengu this early on is scary as hell. But if we can keep our distance from it, and potentially even have some orcs body block, that would be nice. Just because we have OTR, I'm willing to try out just a little bit here. We're going to make sure to keep our distance from that Tengu warrior, because that is, again, a wee bit scary. But let's see if we can't test out how great our odds are with some wands. Not a great chance to paralyze. We could just Ice Blast the sucker. Let's see how that does damage-wise, shall we? That wasn't too bad. Let's revamp our Toxic Aura, and then I'm going to start running away. New dragon tiles are a little funky to you, but you really like the new tile changes in general. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen too many dragons. Or I definitely have seen a fire dragon or two in a previous game, but I don't remember off the top of my head what they looked like. So I'll have to hold off on that. Thanks, Zom. You're great, pal. Love it. If the Manticore gets into close range, and also speaking of new tiles, Manticore tile looks pretty sick. I like that a lot. But this is still scary as all hell. If Sestray had started making tiles 10 years ago, maybe you wouldn't be a console player. That's great. And yeah, I guess I should, big props to Sestray, because that is the brilliant artist behind the new changes. And they are all pretty awesome. Oops. Still in my X viewing mode there, but don't think I have much of a choice except to start trying to take out this Manticore. So it's going to be an Ice Blast wand. It's not horrible damage. Don't have poison coming down anymore, but The Ice Blast is undodgeable, so I think it is our best bet to just take out the Manticore. Heck yeah. That's what you love to see. From Tengu Warrior to scary Manticore Beast. Nothing we can't handle. Octopode of Zom is just the strongest species background combination in the game, or species religion combination in the game, of course. Everyone knows that. Perfect. Even a two-headed ogre, something that would normally be quite scary. Thanks to OTR, we're able to squish up before they get the chance to close the distance. But holy crap, what a ridiculous vault that was. 2 out-of-depth monsters of that degree. Fun stuff. Ooh, and we get a +2 hand crossbow of chaos. Well, we got a crossbow of flaming, and then it erupted into a glittering mayhem of color, turning it into chaos. Okay, I'll pick that up. Don't know if I'll ever use it. It's scary, but it could be useful. I guess it could paralyze enemies. Because it's ranged, if it gave them might or speed, I could just run away, which is kind of sweet. That's really good. Chaos on a launcher is god tier. Interesting. Is it because of that where you can risk it on further enemies and always retreat if you get a bad roll? Because there definitely are some amazing effects with Chaos. I'm just used to it being like Sykes' Dagger of Chaos and too scary to use in close combat. Yeah, precisely that. Very cool. That is sweet. I'm going to do a quick find then for crossbow bolts. I think that would have made it show up. Oh, no, I was wrong. They're just called bolts. Good to know. Ooh. We feel dopey. We okay? Also, auto pickup just got reactivated there. Don't know why it was disabled for the moment, but I can go through real quick and pick up a few more darts. Find. And the rest are on D3. Perfect. Oh right, Sigmund. Kind of forgot about that. And Zom wants you to use it. That's actually true. Using a chaos weapon is probably great for Zom themselves, right? I'm going to try one shot on Sigmund here. I guess what I should probably do is OTR first, then get in a chaos shot. Not great, but all good. Ooh. He just drank a potion of resistance. That's not fair. You can't do that. Just checking how much percent or how good of a chance to get confused. 35%. I like those odds. We'll be fine. Okay, come on. Crossbow. No, unfortunately. No luck there. I'll let the poison take effect for a few more turns, I guess. Ooh, and now we are confused. Jeez, Sigmund has everything, every advantage in the game. We're more confused. Oh, fun. Well, we do actually have a decent number of curing potions, so we can get out of this bind, probably before Sigmund gets too close. I don't want to take even a single distortion hit. As much as Zom would love that, and I know that they would, I'd rather not. You know, he's loaded distortion scythe, rip. No, exactly. That's why we avoided him in the first place, but... Stop trying to affect me, you son of a gun. Trying to think if the potion of resistance that Sigmund took is still in effect. Oh, it looks like it's not. Oh, you fool. You absolute fool. Awesome. Well, we managed to get through in one piece here, despite maybe not being ready for it. I'm going to take the Scythe of Distortion just for funsies for the time being. Don't know if that's great. Also, ooh, we just got Robust, we got Genetically Stable, and more Iridescent Scales, all in one go. Holy crap. So that's 10% health, resistant to further mutation, and another 2 AC. Well, thanks, Zom. I guess Zom really did reward us for going through that whole process. Did love that we decided to fight the much too strong Sigmund at this stage in the game. You love to see it. Also, wow, a pure potion of experience in a shop. That's hilarious. I am definitely going to buy the Scroll of Blinking, though. That seems like a no-brainer to me, and I think another Identify Scroll as well. Maybe mark the Scroll of Amnesia for the future. Perfect. And now, that's a good impetus to... Oh, we only had that one Identify Scroll. Good to know. Let's see. I think I'm going to use this on a scroll here. And most of these are scrolls that we've had for the large, or a large portion of the game. Pureka box, I think, is new. So I'm feeling it. Pureka box. Dang it, Scroll of Vulnerability. If you just keep taking shots, eventually going to predict correctly. Also, auto pickup was off. Whoops, that's why everything was being annoying with the bolts that we were trying to pick up. Wonder where that happened without me noticing it. But regardless, we're finally able to head all the way back down. Let's head to our D9. We have a decent number of bolts actually, which isn't always the case, so I do like to see that. Oh, we can see how much of this level we didn't have auto pickup on for as we go through those few piles. Oh, how about this? And another scroll glows. Does that change anything again? I always want to check. Maybe, maybe not. Guess you can't really tell with an unidentified scroll, right? But let's head back to the stairway. And I'm hoping to find the lair entrance right away here. And on top of that, I'd actually like to find a shield. Yeah, okay. Double check to make sure we hadn't missed one already, but it is not the case. So we'd really like to find a shield at some point here. Okay, we turned that orc invisible, so I'm gonna immediately switch over to OTR. Solves all of our problems for us. Is a nice way to deal with these early invisible enemies, even though, to be fair, we did turn that enemy invisible ourselves, so kind of our fault, as it were. Another heal wounds potion pickup is very much appreciated. And, you know, let's try one shot. Okay, not quite. Just more OTR, please. OTR and run away. The most classic combo. Perfect. This is why I absolutely adore this poison spell. It's such a straightforward use. Takes care of all these bees for us, which would normally again be quite scary, just because they're at risk of poisoning us back. In fact, I'm really hoping that we get Spider. Also, thank you, Safed. Yes, I should definitely throw on the ring that we just picked up. When you have 8 slots for them, there's really no reason not to, at the end of the day. Okie dokie, let's see, we poison the frog with our darts. Love to see that. Okay, so far getting a nice mix of luck in terms of the results from our crossbow of chaos. But I'll take it. We drained the moccasin. Oh, whoops, there's no point in doing OTR here. We're not against an enemy where that's relevant, but all good at the end here, as long as we still have the mana to do what must be done. And we'll run the heck away from the bear so that we don't have to deal with the berserk portion at the end of their health bar. Perfect. We are a decent amount contaminated here, but honestly, that's not too horrible. Even if we did manage to up our contamination levels, we are luckily resistant to, partially resistant, I should say, to further mutation, which you love to see. And now IMB is getting up there in terms of castability. Maybe I should learn a little bit of translocations magic just to bring that average up, because for the cross-school spells, it is taking the average between the schools. So that is a quick way to bring down some of that failure rate for sure. And perfect, we do find our lair entrance. I guess lair is where I'd normally want to go for sure. The one thing that I will keep in mind though is that with OTR and poison, orc becomes much more doable than it otherwise might be. So that does interest me at the very least. And out of depth troll. I guess not that out of depth. This shouldn't be too bad. long as we don't do anything too silly. Could even try for 1 stack of IMB, but instead I think I'll just go for 1 poison. Dang it, I was hoping that would work, but at the end of the day we do have Ice Blast Wands. Take advantage of the unmissable or undodgeable aspect. Make sure we get that final hit in instead of taking our final hit ourselves. Perfect, and now I'm really crossing my fingers that we find some more rings. There's only 2 at this stage in the game. Isn't great. Normally would expect to have found a few more by now for sure. But oh my gosh, OTR. So satisfying. With any of these like pack animals that aren't poison resistant, absolutely love it. Ooh, we also gained some insight of the creatures around us. That's fun. Have fun in the Chaos Clouds, Yaks. Oh, geez, there was still one alive there. That's good to know. Ooh, it's fast too. I need to stop moving before I get killed by an invisible, enraged yak. So we could go for an Ice Blast, but we're likely to also potentially hit ourselves. Instead of aiming around an enemy, we could accidentally shoot directly into them, which wouldn't be great, obviously. Let's take a look through our inventory for some options here, shall we? Scroll blinking is the most all-encompassing, useful one. Definitely just saves our butt, but on the same token, I would like to save those for maybe an even scarier situation, one that I didn't put myself into in a kind of silly, dumb way. So it's probably just going to be a heal here, followed by 1 more OTR cast, hoping to poison this thing. And now that we can see where it is actually, thanks to the clouds, I am going to risk an Ice Blast just to take out that yak that's next to us. But geez Louise, seething Chaos Clouds, what an adventure. Okay, and a wolf appearing out of nowhere. Zom, it'd be real cool if we could just chill for a bit, you know? Just a little bit of chill factor added in. And also, hello, Failpink. How's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's a fantastic couple of days since we saw you last. Let's just run to the stairs while we quickly try and restore all of our things here. Jeez Louise. Skeletal warrior? What you doing up here? It's way too early to see you. OTR is not going to be as helpful as usual against that bad boy. Do I even want to try fighting you? Kinda do. Try for Lucky Bolt of Chaos. This is an enemy that we at least should be able to just use a teleport scroll to get away from if need be. As long as Zom doesn't do anything too nasty to us. We can also, for the first time, start throwing in some IMBs here. Just keep this buddy off of our bat. You remember correctly, OTR will work on invisible creatures too? Yeah, it's been our only way of dealing with those buddies so far over the course of the run. Definitely an amazing utility. Again, there's a reason why that's just my favorite spell in the game. Also, thank you, Zom. Heck yeah, Zom is petrifying our enemy here, I'll take that. And best way to take advantage of that, maybe just with the stone arrow, a couple of our regular attacks, and we'll go for a switch to our dagger here. If this buddy unpetrifies while we're next to them, it's not great for us, but we can survive at least a couple hits, and there we go. Managed to face yet another pretty out-of-depth monster already. Love to see it. This does not look like a ghost that I do want to face. Because again, we've killed 1 ghost, we can kill 3 more to count towards the unique Slayer achievement banner. It's not a banner, because those are the lower things. I forget what the categories in the tournament are, but regardless, could afford to fight a few of these, but this buddy is kind of scary. Super high AC, at least not for now, when our main sources of damage are poison, at the very least. Yeah, OTR plus Ignite Poison is so satisfying, definitely. It's wild that a level 4 and a level 3 spell can single-handedly, or I guess dual-handedly, clear through Vaults 5. Because with that combination alone, unless you get really unlucky with the armor grabs on the Vault Wardens, you can just clear through that entire mess of nonsense, which is so awesome. Almost as good as Ignition itself. For sure. But, okie dokie, I think I'm going to head down to the Orcish Mines to start out, because should be able to make really great use of our poison effects down here. And before doing so, let's maybe take a moment to re-evaluate the run and the stages we're at right now. Because we could switch back into Earth, get LRD and Petrify up, because those will help against Hydras when we eventually do go to Lair instead. On the other hand, though, we did leave a shot behind, and this spellbook here has statue form in it. So that would, I guess that's not even on the other hand, that's on the same hand of training more Earth magic, could be quite advantageous. So even, you know, before we head down to Orc, I'm going to head back up to here. Let's pick up the Book of Stone. And that gives us a couple of nice things, Bolt of Magma for the future, but mostly I would really like to get statue form up as soon as possible here. That's a key, a very vital key to surviving as an Octopode, and gets us the resistances we need for Lair as well, which is sweet, because we haven't found any resist poison yet. So that is going on the list. Who are Radiate 2? Yeah, Radiate is another amazing one just for clearing the way around you, for sure. Absolutely incredible book. Set for the rest of the game. Love it. And Brain, you're on V5 now. Used OTR and Refridge. Already got rid of Ignite Poison, but still amazing combo. Even without the Ignite Poison, it's still incredible. For a few areas of the game, Elf is similar. I really like clearing Elf with OTR. Elf, Orc, I guess any of the, or a lot of the big mass humanoid branches like that. It's just absolutely incredible. Even in getting through to the Sorcerer, because one of the main issues with the Sorcerer is, of course, that they will start bringing in summons. I mean, should have brought in summons if that Sorcerer knew what they were doing. I'm not complaining, mind you. I would prefer my enemies don't do anything properly, of course. But holy cow. Double brinking, yes, but also double blinking scrolls is the thing. Pretty incredible. I'm going to buy Fog as well just to get that identified. It's nice for a cheap price of 24 gold. I almost wish that we hadn't identified our noise scrolls yet, because it's sweet to just spend 12 gold in exchange for a free ID. There we go. Of course, in Orc, the one thing we do have to be slightly scared of are these wargs. Oops. I don't have my weapons set up properly. Let's maybe change that now, shall we? I want the dagger on A, dagger of electrocution, and I'm gonna put our chaos crossbow on B so that we can quick switch between the two. And though now the warg might be a little too close for me to risk it, so I'm gonna switch over to a more classic approach, take a few steps back as well, and then IMV should finish off the job here, just making sure that we keep our distance from these bad boys. Let's wield over to our crossbow potentially. Just wait a turn. Perfect. Love to see it. Again, just so satisfying to absolutely crush our way through all these bad boys. In fact, should just head upstairs, can heal up, use OTR to take care of our invisible friend here and everything. Love to see it. Oh, I never did come in to double check on my skills though, so I should do that. Conjurations has us up to 9% failure rate. I think Conjurations can go off. Translocations will keep coming up to get IMB down to a more appreciable failure rate. But otherwise, we do really need to start training our Earth Magic up. Probably will want to start training our Transmutations up right away as well. Bring that up to like 8 or 10 or something. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll turn off fighting for the time being, just to really focus down the most relevant skills here. And okay. Two-headed ogre. Little bit scary, but nothing we shouldn't be able to handle based on previous experiences. And in fact, with IMB now on our side, it almost makes it easier than it was at the time when we last faced one of these buddies. Can just fool around a little bit, pillar dance when need be. I was going to shoot with my Bolt of Chaos, or with my Crossbow of Chaos, but I decided against it here, just in case we give it, the double-headed ogre, a speed boost, that is. Okie dokie. Maybe one more OTR and take out the batch. Love to see it. Perfect. And so what could have been an exceptionally frightening encounter, turns out to be not so bad. Perfect. I guess IMB, I believe, might be another undodgeable attack now that I think about it, because it is just an area blast. So that is useful to just make sure that we're able to finish off monsters and not having to worry about that final hit coming in from them on us as well. Thanks, Zom. I'm more than happy to get the summon, even though I'm hoping we won't need it. I'm hoping that the poison effect alone here should be enough to take out the sorcerer. And indeed, does seem to be the case. I guess I should say that the Shadow Imp, or is this a... what are you? It is a Shadow Imp. I do believe that the Shadow Imp might have saved our life there in some ways, because the sorcerer paralyzed the Shadow Imp instead of us. So there is that. Not too bad to start out here. Hello, first time here. Welcome, Sea Puppy. Happy to have you around. We're normally, when we're playing DCSS, it's on Sundays, and it's attempting to get through all of the different species in the game for our first victories. But with the tournament going on for this couple of weeks here, I decided that I should, for the first time, participate in one of these. Been playing the game on and off for 12 years or so, but I've never participated in any of the tournaments, so I'm excited to try it out for the first time and get some points. Also, thank you so much, Nate here, for welcoming Sea Puppy as well. That's awesome to see. Do love a sense of community for sure. Alrighty then, let's hopefully take out the sorcerer in one hit here. A bad paralyze could have really changed the tide of that encounter, but never didn't have it, of course. Want to start a team? I don't have one yet. That sounds amazing to me, Brain. I do have one that I just randomly popped on here. It's called Riffling's Regrets, an ode to the poor halfling who was so promising. Had a halfling with like over 30 or even over 40 AC and 6 blink scrolls and all that, threw it away with a horrible decision to get fancy with fog scrolls. So I decided that I wanted to give some kind of reference, an homage to that poor buddy, and started Riffling's Regrets. No members whatsoever, so if you already have a team and you're interested in just adding more members, then I would probably be happy to just join in with you. But otherwise, if anyone wants to join Riffling's Regrets, I'd love to have you. Just let me know and I can pop your name into the RC file. And dang, unfortunately we just lost half of our iridescent scale mutation, which is too bad, but not the end of the world for sure. We were lucky to have it in the first place. All I want to keep around in terms of mutations, or not all, I should say, there are quite a few that I would like to keep around, but as long as we keep robust and resistance to mutation, I'm a pretty happy camper by any stretch of the imagination for the game. Let's see here, should I head straight down into Orc 2? I'll dip my head in, dip the toes a little bit here, just see what we have to deal with. Can always leave to come back later, especially if we see Saint freaking Roca. Fun stuff. Oh geez. At this point in the game, 198 health is a lot to chunk through. So I'm probably just going to be heading out of here. I mean, could try and poison her, but I think I'm more than happy to let this go.